Hello friends, I welcome you in lecture number 6 on singularities and zeros. In this lecture we are going to discuss behavior of complex function at point infinity. So if we want to determine the behavior of function f of z at z equal to infinity, then we will define new function using the given function. Suppose we define a new function g as g of w equal to value of function f at point 1 upon w. So we will determine the behavior of this function g at w equal to 0. So suppose we want to talk about analyticity of a function f of z at z equal to infinity, then function f of z is analytic at z equal to infinity if this function g of w defined as g of w equal to f of 1 upon w is analytic at w equal to 0. So function f of z is analytic at infinity if function g is analytic at w equal to 0. Similarly, this z equal to infinity is singularity of this function f of z if w equal to 0 is singularity of this function g of w. So to decide the behavior of given function at infinity, we will define new function as g of w equal to f of 1 by w, and we will decide the behavior of this function g at w equal to 0, and behavior of function f of z will be same as behavior of function g at point w equal to 0. So here we have written that the function f of z is analytic at infinity if the function g defined by g of w equal to f of 1 upon w is analytic at w equal to 0. Similarly, function f of z is singular at point infinity if function g is singular at w equal to 0. So we consider this function f of z equal to 1 by z square. So if I want to determine the behavior of this function at infinity, I define this function as g of w equal to f of 1 over w. Now f of z is 1 by z square, so if we replace z by 1 over w, we have 1 over square of 1 over w, that is going to be w square. So g of w is w square, and we know that this function is analytic everywhere, therefore it is analytic at w equal to 0. So the function g is defined as f of 1 upon w and is analytic at w equal to 0, therefore this function f of z is analytic at infinity. Similarly, we can decide whether infinity is a 0 of f of z or not. So the point infinity is a 0 of f of z of order n if this function g of w equal to f of 1 over w has 0 of order n at w equal to 0. If this function has a 0 of order n at w equal to 0, then this function f of z has 0 of order n at infinity. So again we consider this example f of z equal to 1 by z square, and using this definition we obtain that g of w is w square. So we can see if we take w equal to 0, we will obtain g of 0 equal to 0. So 0 is a 0 of this function g of w. Now to decide the order, we calculate derivatives of w square. First derivative is 2w. So if we find out value of first derivative, it is 0. So we check second derivative. Second derivative is derivative of 2w, which is 2, and it is non-zero for every w. Therefore, it is non-zero at w equal to 0 also. So, therefore, value of g at w and value of first derivative of g at w equal to 0 are 0, and second derivative at 0 is non-zero. Therefore, this w equal to 0 is a second order 0, or g has a second order 0 at w equal to 0. Therefore, f has a second order 0 at z equal to infinity. Similarly, we can talk about pole of order n. The function f of z has a pole of order n at infinity if this function g of w equal to f of 1 over w has a pole of order n at w equal to 0. So, we consider f of z equal to z cube, and we want to decide whether z equal to infinity is a pole of order whatever order we will decide. So, we want to decide the order of this z equal to infinity as a pole of f of z. So, we first decide what is g of w, and we find out the order of w equal to 0. So, if we consider g of w equal to f of 1 over w, then it is 1 over w cube, because f of z is z cube. So, f of 1 by w is cube of 1 by w, which is 1 by w cube. So, as we know, because here power is 3, g of w has a pole of order 3 at w equal to 0. So, therefore, this function has a pole of order 3 at z equal to infinity. Okay, so in this way we can decide the order of pole at z equal to infinity. For that, we are using the order of w equal to 0 as a pole of this function. Similarly, we can talk about isolated essential singularity at infinity. The function f of z has an isolated essential singularity at infinity if this function g of w equal to 1 over w has an isolated essential singularity at w equal to 0. For example, if we consider f of z equal to e raised to z, then g of w is equal to f of 1 by w, which is e raised to 1 by w. And we have discussed in earlier lectures that this e raised to 1 by w has an isolated essential singularity at w equal to 0, because principal part of this Lorentz series of this function has infinitely many negative powers of z. There are infinite number of terms with negative powers of z in the Lorentz series expansion of e raised to 1 by w. So, therefore, w equal to 0 is an isolated essential singularity of this function g of w. Therefore, f of z equal to e raised to z has an isolated essential singularity at z equal to infinity. So, in this way, we can decide the behavior of a function f of z at z equal to infinity using the behavior of function g of w equal to f of 1 over w at w equal to 0. If function is analytic, function f of z is analytic at z equal to infinity if function g is analytic at w equal to 0. Function f has a 0 of order n at infinity if function g has a 0 of order n at w equal to 0. This function f has a pole of order n at z equal to infinity if this function g has a pole of order n at w equal to 0. And similarly, function f of z has an isolated essential singularity at z equal to infinity if function g of w has an isolated essential singularity at w equal to 0. So whenever we want to decide the behavior of given function f of z at z equal to infinity, we will define this new function g of w equal to f of 1 over w, and we will decide the behavior of this new defined function g at w equal to 0. So function f of z will behave in the same manner at z equal to infinity. So the behavior of this function g at w equal to 0 and the behavior of this function f of z at z equal to infinity are same. So this is all about today's session. In the next lecture we will talk about residues of a complex function. So I hope you like this lecture. Thank you.